and only you, for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richlands Tire and Service Centers.
Richlands Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richlands.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
Ooh, you're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry. Simplify.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
The NBA season is here, and the Bucks are starting it all in Philly against the 76ers.
On the other side, Giannis takes the ball. He's going to drive underneath, floats the ball up and in with another foul coming. How about the Greek Freak? Lillard draws the contact, puts the shot up and hits it with a foul.
Our coverage of the opener starts tonight at 6. We are your home for the Milwaukee Bucks. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
10:01, we have sunshine and 55 degrees. It's going to be breezy and cool today with a high of 62. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. A unique property in Fond du Lac County known as the Castle House is a total loss after a fire early this morning. NBC 26's Margaret Cahill has more.
Rick Coleman says he was camping with his wife and 2 dogs when he received a call that his home, which was built to look like a medieval castle, was on fire.
It was known as the Castle House. People would come and drive down the driveway just to see my house.
The fire started around 2 a.m. and took about 5 hours to put out.
We got called out to a structure fire that they said the flames were 50 feet in the air. And when we got here, they were.
The Fond du Lac County Sheriff's Office says no injuries were reported.
On one hand, oh no. On the other hand, my wife is good. I'm good. My dogs are good. The most important things are good.
No word yet on the cause. Decision Wisconsin early voting is officially underway in Wisconsin. Executive Director for the Milwaukee Election Commission, Paulina Gutierrez.
Early voting, which is about 10 days before the election, any City of Milwaukee resident can go to any location to come and vote.
What are the benefits of early voting?
The best thing about early voting in our early voting centers is that you can go to any single one out of the 10 that we have in operation currently for the presidential. So that means that if you're driving to work, on your way back from work, picking up the kids, you can stop at an early voting location that's convenient to you. Whereas on election day, you have to vote at your polling location in the neighborhood that you live in.
Early voting in Sunday, November 3rd. Black leaders organizing for communities voted early as a team on Tuesday. Executive Director Angela Lang tells WTMJ.
Engagement is multiple tools. Voting is one important tool, but we also want to see our vote through. Once people are elected, we're going to make sure that they're working on the issues that people care about. We're going to try and hold them accountable.
Block is one of the only year-round canvassing organizations focused on the Black community. Second Gentleman Doug Imhoff will be in Kenosha and Milwaukee tomorrow. He'll be joined by Maryland Governor Wes Moore and Vice President Harris's brother-in-law Tony West for 2 get-out-the-early-vote block parties. Minnesota First Lady Gwen Walz will be visiting Green Bay and Marinette on Friday morning starting at 11:30. Rudy Giuliani's been ordered to give up his assets, including his home. Here's ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
The former New York City mayor who's lost his license to practice law, been indicted in 2 states, and been found liable for defaming 2 election workers, must now turn over his New York apartment, his luxury watch collection, and other valuables to Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss. A federal jury ordered Giuliani to pay the 2 poll workers $146 million. He tried to seek bankruptcy protection, but a judge tossed that case in August, citing Giuliani's failure to provide information to the court about his business and his spending.
Secretary of State making his 11th trip to the Middle East since Hamas's October 7th attacks on Israel, but peace still appears far out of reach.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken's trip to Israel was punctuated by air raid sirens on Wednesday after Hezbollah fighters fired missiles from Lebanon, which were intercepted by Israeli forces. The secretary continued on to Saudi Arabia to meet with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and also plans to visit Qatar and the UK to speak with other Arab leaders as he tries to calm tensions in the Middle East. Shannon Kingston, ABC News, Riyadh.
Bed Bath & Beyond is making a comeback. The home goods retailer filed for bankruptcy last year, closed all of its stores, but began selling products online after its brand was acquired by Overstock. Now Bed Bath & Beyond is opening up physical stores again as part of a collaboration between Overstock and the Container Store. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 283 points, NASDAQ down 116. The S&P 500 is off 26. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
So he said to me, "Boy, oh boy, do you got the boulders." And I said, "You betcha." And he said, "Do you mind if I cherry pick?" And I said, "Feel free. They're all beautiful and they're all granite. Sparkling pinks, blues, and grays from 4 to 36 inches. And they're all priced right because we buy direct from the source nationwide to give you the look you want." Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Well, if you need flagstone for your new natural patio, Erickson's is the place to find it. We have the largest selection and 15 styles to choose from. And for decorative stone, Erickson's is your best choice. Our decorative stone is trucked in from all over the country. We buy straight from the quarry and cut out the middleman to keep your prices nice and low. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Regular season begins for the Milwaukee Bucks tonight in Philadelphia against the 76ers.
The Bucks are expected to begin the season without Chris Middleton, who continues to recover from off-season ankle surgeries.
I'm really not concerned. I mean, it's a long season.
Doc Rivers' Bucks, among the oldest teams in the league, with 4 of their preferred 5 starters in their 30s, playing against a team vying for Eastern Conference supremacy.
You know, it's funny. I've never thought anywhere was that hostile. The better the environment, I've always thought the better for both teams. I think it's a good thing.
Greg Matzik, WTMJ News.
Bucks begin the home portion of the schedule Friday night against the Chicago Bulls. College football, Wisconsin faces a tough test Saturday night, number 3 Penn State at Camp Randall Stadium. And the Packers battle the Jaguars Sunday afternoon in Jacksonville. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons paving time saver traffic. A little bit of slow in the construction zone. I-43 southbound Brown Deer Road to downtown. Everything else on the freeway system looks clear this hour. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Breezy and cool today with a high 61. We could see some frost tonight as the low tonight inland 32, 38 lakeside. Sunny tomorrow, rain at night with a high Thursday 63. Friday's morning showers then becoming mostly sunny, a high 64. Sunny and 58 on Saturday and sunny and 60 on Sunday. Right now, Madison 54 and 54 in Green Bay, 56 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber, Siding Unlimited WTMJ News Time 10:07.
We like to do things by the numbers. We're all about commerce and community. Welcome to the Upswing, presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs. Now for the host that's always on the upswing, Jeff Sherman.
Now, to business, gentlemen.
Good morning, Wisconsin. Good morning, Milwaukee. All business, all the time. That's what we do on the Upswing. Business headlines and more with Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Business Journal today. What's the local impact of the True Value bankruptcy? I stopped at my True Value last night and got a little insight. It's the only one in the city of Milwaukee. We'll do a deeper dive into that story. Rich has some really interesting insights there. Harley-Davidson dealers continue to voice their concerns. Husco lands some new business. Clarios continues to grow. Their annual revenue at that company just skyrocketing into the billions. And news you need to know, some new housing and more coming to Milwaukee's River West neighborhood. We're going to dive into business headlines all across the area as we do each and, every other Wednesday here on the Upswing. But first, let's go to Up.
Now it's time for the 2 Up on the Upswing.
First up, More Spotted Cow now. New Glarus Brewing Company announced yesterday that it will break ground on a $55 million, 65,000 square foot hospitality edition. The edition is going to include hospitality, brewing, distilling, and retail facilities to match customer demand and visitor demand, says the company, according to a news release. The brewery is also in need of additional parking to accommodate the number of guests that come, especially on the weekends, to New Glarus. More specifics about the addition are going to be made public at an October 29th groundbreaking ceremony. New Glarus is located right on State Highway 69, founded in 1993. Employee-owned company, obviously known for selling its beer only in the wonderful state of Wisconsin. They produce about 230,000 barrels of beer annually, ranking 12th in total sales volume among craft breweries nationwide. Spotted Cow, by the way, if you buy it at our wonderful airport, Milwaukee Mitchell International, 12-pack there is $26.99. They're kind of getting that visitor crowd. Total Wine has a 12-pack of Spotted Cow for $15.79. I checked Target, $15.99. Let's go a little bit more local. Ray's 12-pack bottles of Spotted Cow, $17.98. There's your beer price check for this morning. All right, number 2, how much is your internet bill? The federal government wants to hear kind of about the funkiness, if you will, on your internet bills. Those extra fees, if your streaming and surfing goes above the monthly data limit. Last week, the FCC announced that it's looking into the impact of data caps, the limits that some home internet providers impose on how much data you can use each and every month. You might be charged extra if your household and your kids go over that limit. So consumer advocates have been saying for years that these data caps are just totally unjustified, and it's just another way to add more revenue and another line item to our bills. So advocates hope that the FCC is finally going to do something about it. You can check your current plan's broadband consumer label to see if your plan has a data usage limit or a data cap. Each label includes a section that will give you the full disclosure. FCC.gov has all the information. A little deeper dive here. Spectrum and Verizon, at least locally here, generally don't have data caps. But if you use a provider like Xfinity or Cox, depending on where you are, some of those do have data caps. So keep it in mind as you look at your bills, FCC.gov. No matter what, I always suggest that you call your internet provider like every 6 to 8 months and renegotiate, or at least say that you're going to change. You never know. You could save $5-10 a month on your bill. It's worth taking the time. Sometimes it's 20 minutes on the phone, but there is my consumer connection for the day. Can I go one more? 3 up? All right, we're going to do it. I noted yesterday that Flower Girl and Flame is going to reopen its brick and mortar on 81st and National Avenue starting November 1st for dine-in, carry-out, and delivery 5 days a week. You can't beat their Wisco Margarita Pizza, just $15, 10-inch wood-fired pizzas. They finish it with this beautiful ring of local honey, do 900 degrees, 90 seconds. Great food trucks. They do a lot of local business around in the farmers markets and area events. But now it's great to see that Flower Girl and Flame is going to reopen its brick and mortar right there on 81st and National Avenue. All right, when we come back, we'll take a deep dive into what's happening with True Value. This is The Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
High taxes can erode returns quickly. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? Let Creative Planning help with a free year-end tax review. This personalized review will help you reduce your tax burden before the year ends. It's the perfect time to take proactive steps to optimize your tax situation. Go to creativeplanning.com/radio and request your free tax review. Act now. This offer is only good till Monday, October 28th at midnight. That's creativeplanning.com/radio.
Hi, it's Rose Gray from Fox World Travel, inviting you on an unforgettable 2025 bucket list adventure. We're guiding groups of local travelers to some of the world's top exotic destinations, including Australia and New Zealand, the Galapagos Islands, Costa Rica, Peru, Morocco, Turkey, Egypt, and Kenya. Our award-winning experts crafted group tours with Insight Vacations, Globus, and African Travel for your peace of mind. Visit foxworldtravel.com or call 866-GO-FOX-GO. Let's explore the world together.
I am trying to spread the word. Elders do not have to lose everything at the end of life paying for nursing care or assisted living.
Dan Kraus from Kraus Estate Planning and Elder Law Center.
If you have assets over $150,000, it often makes sense to work with an experienced elder law attorney to save as much as possible from the devastating cost of nursing care for your security, for your family.
Contact Dan at Kraus Estate Planning and Elder Law Center today. SaveMomsAssets.com.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. Shine on, you crazy diamond. We're giving away tickets to see Brit Floyd. Tune in to Spanning the State today from 1 to 3 p.m. to win the iconic Brit Floyd returns to the beautiful Riverside Theater right here in downtown Milwaukee. One lucky winner will get 2 tickets to the show. You can celebrate 50 years of Wish You Were Here, the album being played in full at the show, plus other classic Floyd tracks amongst the stunning production that Brit Floyd always brings to the Riverside Theater. The shows are Friday, May 31st, and Saturday, June 1st at the Riverside Theater. So tune in today, Spanning the State. Kristen, I think Brian's off the rest of the week. From 1 to 3, Spanning the State to win. All right, Rich Kirchen, Business Headlines, Milwaukee Business Journal senior reporter. Rich, thanks for taking the time this morning.
Hey, it's great to be here, Jeff.
All right. Well, let's talk a little True Value. You had a really in-depth story on the national impact. True Value, 75-year-old hardware store brand, filed bankruptcy, selling substantially all of its operations to a rival. And I saw in their press release that this includes $153 million stalking horse bid to the rival company Do It Best. And you have some good insight there. I want to just provide a little definition. The stalking horse, what a stalking horse bid is, essentially it's a binding offer to buy out of bankruptcy a company's assets before it goes to public auction. So they've already negotiated that, and the company is Do It Best.
That's correct. Stalking horse bidders don't always win the race.
Okay, all right.
But they certainly are in the lead position.
Okay.
And I think they can respond if any other bids come along. So, I don't know what the percentage is. It's a high percentage likelihood.
The goal is to prevent lower bids and maximize the value of the assets.
If Ace Hardware comes along and offers twice as much money, I'm sure they're all ears.
Yes.
But Do It Best, obviously not as well known in our area as True Value, which has been around for decades. The first Do It Best hardware that I was familiar with opening locally was Bliffert. When Bliffert Lumber off of Humboldt on the east side opened a hardware store, it was Do It Best. And it turns out they do have a number of locations around the area. But yeah, so the true, and yes, there's one apparently from our quick research, maybe one True Value in the city of Milwaukee. There are others sort of in the suburbs and nearby communities. And they're independently owned. They're not owned by True Value.
Right. And I did stop at that one store on Downer Avenue, and look like business as usual. They said, we are independently owned. We are going to forge ahead. Should have little impact on our business day to day. There are 55 cities in the state of Wisconsin that have True Values now. And some of the research, it looks like there's a total of 68 True Values in the state of Wisconsin now.
Yeah. One that used to be in the city looks like it's closed down, but I'm not sure when that happened, and I'm sure it was not related to the bankruptcy. But yes, anecdotally, I did stop in at a True Value store this past weekend. I'm not going to say which location. looking for window glazing.
Okay.
Which is,
a little home remodeling project at the Kirchen household.
Home repair, kind of thing. And I was told that they were not able to get more window glazing at the moment because of the True Value bankruptcy. I don't know if that's really what's happening, but that at least this one store seemed to be having some challenges with its supplies because True Value is a wholesaler that provides all of the merchandise to the stores.
Yeah. So the impact for the retail ownership stakes probably won't be any because, as we said, they're all locally, independently owned, but maybe there's some supply chain concerns down the road.
Yes, right. And we'll see. I mean, are they all going to the plan is for the bankruptcy case to be concluded by the end of the year? Then do all of these stores that have been known for years as True Value switch to Do It Best?
Yeah.
And will that hurt them at all? Who knows? Because Do It Best is not as well known in this market.
Yeah. So there's a big rebrand to come and some additional marketing for sure. Well, on the ad side, you had some reporting on how this could affect one Milwaukee-based ad agency that's done a lot of work with True Value through the years.
Right. It was a nice marquee kind of win for Laughlin Constable, which is one of the larger ad agencies in Milwaukee. That was in summer of 23 that they announced winning the True Value account for national advertising, and they just rolled out their campaign in around April 1st of this year. And Hardware Hero is the theme, and they're very fun ads. The agency tells me, Laughlin Constable tells me, they're still working with True Value. What that means, how much the company's spending on advertising right now, don't know.
And as part of the bankruptcy filing, company has to list its unsecured claims. Do you know, is the agency on that list?
I did look at the bankruptcy filing, and Laughlin Constable is not on the top 30 unsecured creditors list. Doesn't mean that True Value doesn't owe them some money, but at the moment they're not on the list.
All right, very good. When we come back, let's look into manufacturing. It's the end of Manufacturing Month, which is October, so we'll dive in a little deeper in the world of manufacturing right here in Greater Milwaukee. Rich Kirchen joins us from the Milwaukee Business Journal. This is The Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
The wait is over.
We are back! We are back! We are back, baby!
Bucks basketball is back.
Giannis working on Orlando Robinson. Spins around him, and goodness, great Greek freak. Here's Dame, corner three. Yes, sir! All net and all Bucks.
The Bucks take on the 76ers in Philly for the season opener. Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6. We are the home of the Bucks. WTMJ.
Now at Menards, save big money on everything for your next painting project. Give your space the platinum treatment with Platinum Plus interior paint. Its stain shield technology protects your spaces with a performance you'd expect from luxury paint. Save big on Dutch Boy paints at Menards, and don't forget to check out Dutch Boy's 2025 color of the year, Mapped Blue. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm Dave Sager. I'm the chairman of Bethlehem Evangelical Lutheran Church and School. In 1998, we made a decision to buy some property in Germantown. It was always the mindset, someday we would build a church on that property. Horicon Bank bent over backwards for us repeatedly. I can't tell you how many times I reached out to Michelle on a Saturday, on a Sunday. Can you help me out? And it would not be possible without Horicon Bank and Catalyst Construction. Just amazing individuals, and it's all family.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Abby from Abby Home here. Is your insurance company questioning your roof's life? Thinking it may be time to replace it? Get a roof from Abby Home. It's the last roof you'll ever have to put on. Our Golden Pledge warranty gets you a 50-year non-prorated warranty and 25-year workmanship warranty. Right now, get our lowest prices of the year with our 14-year anniversary sale. Go to myabbeyhome.com for more. If somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. Have you been to the Hounds and Tap yet? In Menominee Falls, this state-of-the-art facility and the ultimate hangout for hounds and humans. Grab a drink at the indoor-outdoor tavern, let your dogs hang out. You can even book professional grooming services, from pedicures to full spa treatments. Every day is a play day at the Hounds and Tap. Hang out with your dog and others, or drop your dog off for doggy daycare or doggy boarding services. Check out thehoundsandtap.com. That's thehoundsandtap.com.
Welcome back to the Upswing, all business, all the time. Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal, joins us from the WTMJ talk and text line, which is 855-616-1620 from the 262. I used True Value paint throughout when I built my home in the late 80s, and it was durable and affordable. Of course, also from the 262. Years ago, many of the local former True Value hardware stores converted to Do It Best or to Ace. Yes, indeed, we did mention that, and there are certainly several Do It Best providers, that, especially on the lumber side in the greater Milwaukee area and throughout the state.
Yeah, well, Pool's True Value in Wauwatosa, I know, converted to Ace, and I think that happened in a number of locations. Yeah, I just did a quick check before we went on the air. Do It Best in Burlington, Cedar Grove, East Troy, Fredonia, Germantown, Lake Geneva, Sheboygan Falls, Racine, Sturtevant, Thiensville, Tosa. A lot of it's identified as Do It Best hardware and lumber, so some of those might be more lumber oriented.
Okay. All right. Well, let's shift a little bit to manufacturing. Husco International has announced $200 million in newly awarded contracts. I had CEO Austin Ramirez on the show last Monday. He kind of hinted at some of the new contract news and a cancellation. You also talked to Austin. What else did you learn about the investments and the hiring at Husco?
Yeah, well, Husco International is owned by the Ramirez family, and they're probably best known in the area as philanthropists with St. Augustine Prep and so forth. They're a major supplier directly to automakers and to suppliers to automakers. And they had announced a couple of years ago that they had won their largest contract ever, something north of $100 million on a repeating basis, and then it was abruptly canceled a couple weeks later. So what Austin Ramirez told me is they just sort of doubled down, re-upped got on the upswing with their sales and business development efforts, and it's yielding results. So they listed, they didn't give the names of the companies that they're selling to, but $200 million, I think it was 5 or 6 different contracts for their hydraulic parts and component systems. Most of those were with automakers. Most of them were internal combustion engine, but there were some EV and some hybrid. And then also I think 1 or 2 with off-highway, construction and ag equipment. Along with that, they're investing in their plants in Waukesha and elsewhere, hiring 250 employees, and I think over 100 of those were going to be in Waukesha.
Okay, very good. And it is Manufacturing Month. They had an event, I believe it was last Wednesday at their facility. What are you hearing? And maybe you got a little of this out of that event, but what are you hearing from other manufacturing CEOs in the state as the election creeps closer and closer about what they're seeing with either a Harris or a Trump administration? Are there concerns on either side from what you're hearing?
Yeah, I did a story, I think it ran last week, just looking at a couple of manufacturing CEOs that were at an event, Independent Business Association of Wisconsin Manufacturing Summit. Regal Ware was one of them. The they make high-end pots and pans and other products. They're seeing the effect of the tariffs, really the Trump-era tariffs on China that are still in effect, and they're actually getting some business as a result of that. On the other hand, there's a company in Caledonia, and I can't remember their name. Maybe you have it in your notes there. They went big on EV, as supplying products that are used in EV manufacturing. So they're concerned about if Trump's elected, and because President Biden and Kamala Harris have generally been more supportive of electric vehicles, supporting that industry.
Yeah. All right. And also, amongst some of the election concerns, there's just the general recruitment and retention. And you talk to manufacturing CEOs, and they're worried that we don't have enough engineers in the area. What's Carroll University doing about this?
They are introducing a new degree program. Wow. Some nice background music for this one. I'm getting sort of mellow. Industrial systems engineering and mechanical engineering. And you're right. I do. That's consistent. Almost every manufacturer I talk with says we need more engineers. So bring them on.
Yeah. Adding more ability for more engineering programs at all the local area schools is a good thing, and will help us kind of power the manufacturing future forward in the area. All right, when we come back, continued concerns from Harley-Davidson dealers. Rich has a lot of good reporting on this, and another recall that was announced just yesterday. This is the Upswing. WTMJ News Time is 10:30. ABC News, and then local headlines are coming up next, and more business headlines right here on the Upswing.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Millions of Americans have already voted, and the election is still 2 weeks away. In Georgia, they've had nearly 2 million people cast ballots already. Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger says only a small handful of them as well have been ineligible.
Utilizing records from county courts, the Georgia Department of Driver Services, and the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, we were able to conclusively find 20 non-citizens who were on the voter rolls. All 20 of these voter registrations have been canceled.
Donald Trump holds 2 rallies in Georgia today. Kamala Harris will be there tomorrow. One person who voted today, not in Georgia, in Minnesota, vice presidential nominee and governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. Boeing has reported a $6 billion second quarter loss due to quality control issues at its factories and the machinist strike. An E. coli linked to McDonald's quarter pounders, making 49 people in 10 states sick. This is ABC News.
Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 10:31, Decision, Wisconsin. Early voting has begun in the state. Lines were long on the first day yesterday. Early voting runs through Sunday, November 3rd. Wrong-way driver was on a path toward Vice President Kamala Harris's motorcade after a campaign event she held in Brookfield, the wrong way on I-94 Monday night. The SUV was westbound of the eastbound lanes of the freeway at the Marquette interchange. Milwaukee County Sheriff's deputies were able to stop it. They suspect the 55-year-old driver was drunk and arrested him. Waukesha County delays a vote on implementing a 0.5% sales tax. County Executive Paul Farrow withdrew the ordinance from consideration at Tuesday night's board meeting, saying postponing the measure will allow for more public input and will provide an opportunity to educate residents on the county's financial challenges. Farrow also says he'll work with the county board to look at other options, such as levying less than 0.5%. Time for some news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Markets are still down. Right now, the Dow is down 382 points, 42,542. The Nasdaq is down 211, 18,364. The S&P 500 down 43 at 5,807. Elections have consequences. Is your investment and retirement plan ready for what's next? Click the Get Started button at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver traffic. No major delays, and right now pretty typical drive times around the freeway system. 94 east from Highway 16 to the Zoo, a 10-minute drive. 41 south from Highway Q to the Zoo, about 14 minutes. And 94 north from Layton Avenue to the Market Interchange, about a 7-minute drive this morning. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Breezy and cool today with a high 62. We could see some frost tonight. 32 inland for the temperature. Tonight's low lakeside 38. Mostly sunny tomorrow. Rain at night with a high Thursday 63. Friday morning showers, then mostly sunny with a high 64. Sunshine and 58 on Saturday. Sunny skies 60 on Sunday. 54 in Madison and Green Bay. 56 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Citing Unlimited WTMJ News Time 10:33.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Why settle for just a job when you could have a career in the exciting automobile industry? The Auto Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee new car dealer members have service, technician, sales, administrative, and management positions available now. The first word in career is car, and one of the best places to find a great career opportunity is at an Adam new car dealer.
For current great paying job opportunities, visit adam.jobs. That's ADAMM.jobs.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. Admit it, you've been dealing with achy joint pain for so long. It's been so long you don't even remember when it started, when you used to feel good. You do the daily doses of medication, which basically just a Band-Aid. You've done the steroid shots, and it just doesn't last, and God knows what the long-term effects are. So let's talk real lasting relief. It is possible with the help from QC Kinetics. People in Milwaukee are reducing the inflammation, getting the mobility back, and most importantly, getting their lives back. Just call QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in cellular therapies, using your own body's healing properties. Find out if you're a candidate for regenerative treatments. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Here's the number, 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics, cutting-edge treatments that require no surgery, no drugs, and here's the best part, no downtime. You can go right to the office right after a treatment. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. Maybe you have an old tub or shower. In our house, like the tub is beautiful, but to replace it, it's kind of overwhelming, and it's a little scary. Like if we want to replace this entire tub, because it's heavy and there's a lot of work involved, but it still looks good, but it's kind of scary. So your shower tower may look about the same way, and it could use an update. So WTMJ and Sidex have paired together to give away a tub or shower conversion. It's your chance to get a full makeover valued at up to $10,000. All you need to do is take a picture of it. No matter how good or bad it looks, you can still enter. You text the word creepy to the WTMJ talking text line 855-616-1620. Submit your picture and you could win a full conversion from our good friends at Sidex. For all the contest rules, just go to WTMJ.com. All right, Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at Business Journal, joins us this morning. Rich, you've done a lot of reporting this year on Harley-Davidson, specifically as it relates to kind of dealer sentiments and dealer dissatisfaction, if you will. What's new there in terms of conversations between the dealer and the company?
Yeah, well, the dealers have been unhappy this year largely because their sales are down. Yeah. And the company, at least until recently, hadn't made any concessions to sort of ease the strain. The big issue they have, again, they're not selling as many bikes, and at the same time, the company had continued shipping bikes. Really through the summers, from what I heard from dealers. So the dealers are in the situation where the riding season is ending, and they have all these bikes on their lots or in their garage, and they have to pay floor plan financing for this inventory. So they're going to have to discount to try to get people to buy. There's a number of factors causing sales to decline. One was a lot of people bought motorcycles during the pandemic shutdown and the period around there, and that probably moved up. They call it pull forward sales. Mm-hmm. Interest rates are a concern if you're financing your purchase. Economic concerns and people who think the election is going to be a big issue for the economy. So, that's what's going on. But at the moment, it's the high inventory. The company, Jochen Zeitz, the CEO, said in July that the company was going to reduce shipments 30 to 35% the rest of the year. So that was one thing the company's doing.
So what's Zeitz's big scale, large scale vision? Is it to go more into EVs, into the 3-wheel vehicles, to stay with the core? Like, is it all of the above?
Well, it's all of the above to a certain extent. The electric live wire business has really been a disappointment. No matter how you slice it, the company has spent tens and tens of millions of dollars, and they're only selling several hundred bikes per year through live wire. The bigger picture has been that he took a look at the business when he became CEO 4 years ago and said that they make a lot more money on the cruiser bikes, the road glide, the street glide, and the trikes. So they've really been emphasizing those and cutting back or eliminating some of the more entry-level bikes like the Sportster.
Okay. And tomorrow, earnings release from the company, what do we expect there?
I mean, what I will be watching is I'm anticipating last quarter, it was sort of surprising how strong their sales were. And that's because they were still shipping bikes to dealers. Yeah. They record that as a sale. I think I would be looking for a double-digit percentage decrease in their sales and shipments. And the company has said their profits are going to be under pressure for the short term.
All right, very good. When we come back, bad weather has been good for Generac. This is The Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, they clicked on the blue button. We sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. We also let them know about AccuNet's property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval did include that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. We'll also likely save you $1,000 to $3,000 in closing costs for exactly the same rate as your bank. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
If you're experiencing low energy, brain fog, or bloating, then your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver to detox your body all year long without any major changes to your diet or lifestyle.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
We've found that the high road is worth the climb, and it's less crowded. At Semper Fi, everything we do is done to the best of our ability. There are no shortcuts. It's pretty simple. We do what we say we're going to do because we fully understand that a reputation is never given. It's always earned. It is in our nature to keep our values intact so that when we leave your job, you'll be right there to shake our hand with satisfaction. We've installed massive flat roofs and shingled huge churches, schools, and all kinds of homes from modest to extravagant, all with integrity and pride in our work. And we're going to keep doing it for generations to come. That's what Always Faithful means to us. This is Brad Youngbluth with Semper Fi Roofing and Exteriors, your local, veteran-owned and operated exterior remodeling company. For your new roof, siding, window and door installation, or masonry work, you can count on Semper Fi to keep you safe, warm, and dry.
We keep you safe, warm, and dry, Semper Fi.
Libby Collins here from my friends at Seniors Helping Seniors Waukesha, who know maintaining independence is one of the greatest concerns for seniors. That's why for over a decade, they've been serving southeastern Wisconsin, offering personalized in-home care to fit each senior's unique needs. From help with daily tasks like bathing, meal prep, and transportation, to companionship and light housekeeping. caregivers make it possible for seniors to stay in the homes they love. Interested in becoming a caregiver? Contact Seniors Helping Seniors today.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, joined by Rich Kirchen, senior reporter at the Milwaukee Business Journal. Rich, bad weather has been very good for local company Generac Power Systems, which was busy meeting hurricane-related demand. Tell us about their new $50 million grant for the Genesee Depot-based Generac.
Yeah, well, Generac is actually, I talked with Aaron Jagfeld, their CEO, and they hurricanes and natural disasters are where they live because people need portable generators in the short term, and then it also leads to more of the long-term business with the home standby generators, which are more expensive endeavor, but yeah, I mean, the company obviously needs to keep multiple fronts of their business going, and they did receive a Department of Energy grant for $50 million, and it's a project in California that they're doing, the company's doing, along with California utility companies, water utilities, interestingly enough. Yeah, so they're gonna. It's sort of hard to picture here, but they're going to support resiliency during local power outages and enhance power grid reliability, and that means that Generac is going to be selling more of their industrial batteries, microgrid controllers, and then of course there are installation fees.
All right, that's great. So, do you have any insight as to annual total revenue from Generac, and any insights just on annual sales numbers? I mean, just doing a quick, from a consumer standpoint, the Generac Guardian, the 26 kilowatt standby generator system, if I'm buying that for my home, it's $7,000 investment.
Sure, yeah. I think the average price for a home standby generator is about $5,000.
Okay.
But then it costs $5,000 to $7,000 for the installation. So you end up with a $10,000 to $12,000 project. Again, right, I'm sure they have some that are higher end and more expensive. The company, I think it's about $4 billion revenue last year, and generators, the residential generators, were over 50% of their revenue.
All right. Well, speaking of energy, what's the latest at Clarios? And talk about their move further into the automotive battery market.
Yeah, well, Clarios International is in Glendale. They have their offices and labs there. About 600 employees that work there. Maybe some are remote, but they call it a 600-employee operation. It used to be Johnson Controls battery business for decades, and they're on the campus of Johnson Controls in Glendale. They're actually huge in the automotive battery market. They say they have the largest market share in the world, not just the U.S. So, and they are a $10 billion annual revenue company owned by private equity. That's who bought it from Johnson Controls a few years ago. They're as much as they are big, and I mean they still sell lead acid batteries. And it turns out that their batteries are required even in EVs. They need sort of a backup or sort of ancillary power source.
Yeah. So that replacement battery market for EVs is, it's small now, but it will get bigger and bigger in the future.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So I mean, they're also, as much as they, they're entrenched and it's sort of grandfathered in the existing battery market, working to stay on top of things. One of their recent investments is in a company in Sweden that is working on next generation sodium ion batteries. And the advantage of those is they don't use rare or expensive raw materials like lithium ion batteries. There you go.
Do you know who are some of Clarios' main competitors in that automotive battery space? Do you know?
I believe they say they have over 50% market share, so everybody else is small. I mean, they do a lot of private label. Their own brands include Optima, but they do diehard batteries, for example. So, and again, they're very big in the U.S. and Europe and other continents.
All right. When we come back, new in River West, new at Fiserv. We'll give you insights as to new condo and apartment options coming to River West and what's new at Fiserv for the beginning of the Bucks season this Friday. This is The Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
There are a lot of interesting people and traditions in Wisconsin. 1 hour of covering culture and creativity in our state is simply not enough. I'm Sandy Max of WTMJ's What's on Tap with the happy news that my show is now expanded to 2 hours. So please join me weeknights from 6 till 8 for updates on festivals, films, food, music, theater, and other ways we love to make the most of Wisconsin life. What's on Tap with Sandy Max weeknights now from 6 till 8 on WTMJ. And subscribe to the What's on Tap podcast to listen anytime you want.
Founded by adventures, fueled by community, and focused on business. This is WTMJ's Jeff Sherman speaking on behalf of my good friends at Horicon Bank. Horicon Bank has been doing banking differently since 1896. Your financing requests can be approved in days, not weeks, because your banker sits down with you, understands you, looks at all the avenues, looks at all the options for your business. Service and products go hand in hand, providing top-notch products to meet your cash flow needs each and every day. Horicon Bank, they get the job done. Together, doing good. That's their vision, and they're committed to doing what it takes to help your business. Horicon Bank truly is the natural choice. Member FDIC.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Are you tired of being tired? Go to adventknows.com.
Bring the whole family for a truly magical event when the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra presents Disney Pixar's Coco in Concert, Film with Orchestra, November 2nd and 3rd at the Bradley Symphony Center. Equal parts tearjerker and joyous zany adventure, the film follows Miguel on an extraordinary journey to the land of the dead in search of truth about his family's generations-old ban on music. Featuring the Oscar-winning song Remember Me, plus a luscious score by Michael Giacchino, this timeless tale is a feast for the senses. Don't miss MSO assistant conductor Ryan Taney as he leads the MSO in Disney Pixar's Coco in Concert, Film with Orchestra, November 2nd and 3rd only. The number again for tickets is 414-291-7605 or online at mso.org.
When you walk into your bathroom, is it turn this into this? With our Sidex Creepiest Tub or Shower Contest. Enter a picture of your creepy tub or shower space at WTMJ.com for a chance to win a brand new complete tub or shower conversion installed at no cost, up to a $10,000 value. Enter your picture by texting creepy to the WTMJ talk and text line. It's the Creepiest Shower Contest, only here on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Welcome back to the Upswing Business Headlines today with Rich Kirchen from the Milwaukee Business Journal. River West, Milwaukee's River West neighborhood has a lot of great food options for sure. Nessun Dorma, Central Cafe, Cafe Corazon, but not a lot of new housing, especially not a lot of new condo options. But there's a new trailblazing concept that's on the table. Came out of City Hall just this week. Rich, who's behind this project, and what can you tell us in terms of details and time frame?
Yeah, it's on Humboldt Avenue or Boulevard near Center Street, where there's an existing business site that hasn't been used in recent years. And it's an organization, a company called Living in Community Milwaukee, represented by Nola Hitchcock Cross, who's an attorney in Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. It's right. They're calling it co-housing, which we all had to look up. Apparently, it's a concept that started in Denmark. Maybe they have them in Denver, too. Co-housing communities are designed and managed by their owners. They encourage non-vehicular transportation, centered around shared community spaces. That includes, it's going to be called River Trail Commons, 16 townhouse units, a larger building with 24 units, shared spaces including garden, library, children's play area, workshop, and reservable guest suites.
All right. Yeah, it's a very neighborhood-centric, very River West type development, heavy on architecture with beautiful green space in the middle and kind of a community model. But obviously, I think they'll try to keep the pricing for the condos not necessarily affordable, but a little higher end with some shared space. I think it's a pretty good match for what the neighborhood needs.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's one of the places where you see a lot of people using the county transit system because there's a lot of buses right on Humboldt.
All right. Before we get to some new options at Fiserv, new Voodoo Tap Room in downtown Delafield. Have you spent any time in downtown Delafield lately?
It's been at least a couple of years, Jeff. How about you?
I have. My parents live out that way, and I would say 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't have had Delafield as a destination. Now it truly is a lot of new dining, a lot of new drinking options, just, much more community-centric community than it ever was. And now the first Wisconsin location for Voodoo Brewing, it's Pennsylvania-based brewing with 10 states right now, is opening as a part of the Grain Project development right there on Genesee Street. It's going to be a wonderful addition to that neighborhood and really walkable from many of the communities right there from Lake Negawicka. So that is opening very soon, as reported in the Business Journal just this week. Good stuff. All right. Did you see all the new fun food options at Fiserv Forum?
I didn't.
No, you didn't go to the event?
Logan Hansen on our staff went, and I didn't get a chance to ask him whether he was sampling some of this. But yeah, every year the Bucks and Fiserv Forum roll out some new food options, and some of these, at the start it's like burgers, hot dogs, cinnamon rolls. Doesn't sound all that exciting.
All stuff you would expect, but
it's like a Johnsonville pastrami dog, a loaded foot-long hot dog. The burgers, there's an MKE burger, a Greek burger. The Jameson bars been upgraded as part of a new agreement with Jameson's parent company. Mm-hmm. Smokestack Barbecue will have barbecue pork nachos, barbecue pork sandwiches. Well, yeah. And then there's a new stand offering pretzel bites called Pretzel Palace. And Sweet Spot, a dessert joint, will have a new cinnamon roll, as well as a bourbon cinnamon roll topped with bacon. Oh, my God.
All right. Creative partnerships. A lot of creativity coming out of the Fiserv Forum, Levy Restaurant's Kitchen. Opening night, home opener is Friday. On Friday's show, I will actually talk to Michael Ballot from the Bucks, and we'll talk about their new partnership with Lululemon right on the concourse outside of Section 108. Thanks, Rich. Always appreciate your time.
Great to be here as always.
Wisconsin's Midday News is coming up next.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, our weekly feature